I'm going to show an additional way on how to remove the background from an item or an image in Pixlr. So you're trying to turn your JPEG image into a PNG, which is basically a transparent image. I went to the Pixlr website. I opened Pixlr X, which is the version we're using in class. And it doesn't really matter which canvas size you start with. That is a personal choice. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to use Square HD. I'm going to title this Practice 2, and then I'm going to create. So I have this transparent square that does not have a background on it, which is perfect. I'm just going to use a stock photo, going to the Add Images in the bottom left corner. I'm going to use a stock photo that can be found in Pixlr. And let's do something that, we could do, let's do this cupcake. It's pretty simple, it's already here. The reason I'm showing you this way, and I'm going to add this to current, is because sometimes when you're using the artificial intelligence, so the remove BG section or the auto remove, when you're trying to cut away the section of an image from the background, there are moments where the image may be too difficult to cut away. So you have to do it in another way. I'm going to zoom out to make sure I can get this cupcake to fit into the square canvas size that I have. Just using either your fingers to pinch or the zoom tool, whatever works best for you. There. I have this cupcake, which is a stock photo, cut out and added as an additional layer to my work. So I could always, of course, go to cut out, the scissors on the left-hand side. I could click AI cutout. We know from the last tutorial that this is something that typically works on images that are easy to recognize to separate from the background. As you can see here, this did not work. It got most of it, but there are spots where the transparent canvas is peeking through. So I'm going to click undo. Another tool you can use is you can attempt to do the magic cutout. You can attempt to do the draw cutout, or you can do the lasso cutout. So let's see what happens when you do the magic cutout. And this is going to do for keep. And it didn't keep everything that was needed, okay? So even if I were to invert the cutout, it didn't grab everything that was necessary. But this is a good way for you to see that typically the magic cutout does its best, just like the AI cutout, to grab majority of the image. I'm going to, once again, undo, go back to the original image. I could use the draw cutout. I could change the size of the brush that I have here. And you can kind of see that it's a little transparent on the edges. I could also sharpen the brush so it's a solid shape. And I'm going to put it on keep, okay? Or actually, let's leave it on remove. I'm going to make this smaller. Everything that I touch will be removed from the image. While this is nice, I feel like this takes a bit long and can be really stressful to do, especially if you're new and you don't have the best coordination with editing. It's also not the most precise situation unless you are willing to bring your brush size down drastically, zoom into the piece, and work your way around the edges. That's a great way to try to get more precise cuttings. So we're going to hit undo again. Let's work our way back. Like I said, you could always make this really small and take your time as best as you can and clean up around your image. That's up to you. That's just another way to do it. You could also use it in the keep way and just drag as most of the things, and everything within the green area will be kept as part of the image. The last one, which is one that I honestly prefer to use, would be the lasso cutout. If you're using Pixlr E, it's much simpler to use, but I really do enjoy the lasso cutout. So I'm going to zoom into the image. I want to be as close as possible so I'm able to see every edge of the piece. Using my mouse, I'm going to click with one finger and draw with the other. Taking my time, I'm going to follow the contour line of my image, of the section that I would like to be cut out. And this will give me everything. While I do like the AI cutout, I prefer this because I feel like there's a bigger sense of control. You can always go back just like the AI and grab the sections that you want. And plus, like I said, the AI doesn't work on every image, even the stock photos. If there's not a clear separation and drastic contrast from light to dark or colors within the image, the computer can't recognize the separation and then you lose parts of your image. That's pretty common. But I do think learning this tool in Pixlr X is great, and it'll make it feel like you're using programs like Pixlr E or more professional editing programs. Essentially, this doesn't take too long. The main thing is remembering that if you have a laptop, you are clicking with one finger and using the other finger to follow the contour line. It's almost like drawing with your finger, and it does not necessarily need to be perfect. You can always go back in, make corrections, make adjustments where you see needed. Or maybe you want to give yourself a more organic shape. So I had it on remove, right? And so it took away the cupcake. I'm going to invert the cutout and boom, I have exactly what I need. In the areas here where I can see some of the white background still jumping out, I could always just zoom in, use my brush, make it really small, and just dabble along the edges. And I have it on remove, so it's going to remove these sections from my image. And like I said, of course, the AI or the remove BG works just fine. I just prefer this because there's more control and it keeps my options open rather than me removing the background and then stressing to figure out like, oh no, I can't remember what part of the image is there. I don't know what to keep. I don't know what to cut out. Nope. Okay, I think you understand the gist of it. You can get really detailed or you could not. It's really up to you. I'm going to zoom out and voila, there is my cupcake that is cut away from the background. I could always go in and go around the white patches here, this side as well, but I'm going to leave it just like this. Hopefully this video was helpful and you were able to understand how to cut out an image in a more precise way.